Beware of spoilers, you have been warned. We pick up Two Towers right where Fellowship leaves off.
Let us handsome walk.
The trio of Getting Things Done is on the hunt for Merry and Pippin and gets dragged into war along the way. They are there during the liberation of Rohan as they vanquish Saruman's influence here. The king is freed from his curse, and the weird creep that looks like that pedophile from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is banished. Oh, and Gandalf the White has entered the chat.
Gandalf the White. Gandalf the Fool.
I swear when I'm not watching the films, I think of her as annoying, but then I'm watching her during the films, and she just hypes me up, especially in the final film. Sam and Frodo are running amok with Gollum during most of this movie.
What's taters, precious? What's taters, huh?
Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
I remember this film the most from my childhood, as Smeagol was always my favorite. Smeagol is definitely one of the best characters. He is such an example of what the darkness of the ring carries, and his split personality is so much fun. Andy Serkis is a genius, and he left a major influence on a whole generation of pop culture. I loved the Ent side mission that Merry and Pippin find themselves in. Tolkien really said F deforestation. I love how Saruman wasn't defeated by some warrior. It was just nature taking back its land after Saruman destroyed it. I love exploring how the ring affected Smeagol, but seeing how Frodo is affected is just annoying, bro.
It's me. It's your Sam. Don't you know you're Sam?
Samwise Gamgee is the real savior of Middle-earth. Let's be real. Frodo is carrying the ring, but it's Sam taking the ring to Mordor. It's like carrying the ring on a box through the whole journey, except the box is a hobbit slowly losing his mind. Helm's Deep hype?
So it begins.
What's happening out there?
Shall I describe it to you? Or would you like me to find you a box?
Then I shall die as one of them. Fangirl! Two already!
I'm on 17!
Trust me.
What?
I cannot jump the distance. You'll have to trust me. Don't tell the elf.
Not only is this whole sequence of the movie incredibly iconic and amazing, it's also the first real big battle we've seen, like, ever. We're talking armies versus armies, and so far it's just been small orc battles and that one wizard versus wizard debacle. This is a real battle and it's epic. Watch extended versions of the films, please and thank you. And it's also such a great insight as to the scale of the battle that we may expect during the Return of the King. The general theme of this trilogy is hope, but you really start to feel it here in this movie. Hope for mankind returns when it is lost. When it seems there is no chance, help arrives. Twice, through the elves and then through Gandalf's arrival. It seems that the stakes are higher. The force of evil grows stronger as we continue through the trilogy, but that just makes everyone fight that much harder. And it's an emotional journey to watch as all races unite to save the realm. As a kid, if I wasn't watching Disney Channel or Animal Planet, I was watching Cartoon Network. And my absolute most favorite show on the channel ever produced, and one of my favorite shows of all time, is Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Cutting to the chase, it's just my sense of humor. It's also why I love regular shows so much. Random, chaotic humor gets me without fail. And Foster's knows how to make me laugh. Some jokes that you may not appreciate make me laugh hysterically, and some episodes you might feel neutral about have my full attention. It's just how it is. Looking back at the last 20 years of animation, I still believe that Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends stands out as a very unique experience. The premise and concept of Foster's isn't really comparable to any other story I know. The art style, music, and overall aesthetic are also very fun and unique, and it's just an overall creative empire. The artists and writers could have just gone crazy with the designs of the imaginary friends. Please let me know if I'm wrong, but there's literally not a single show like this anywhere else. There are a few episodes I remembered as a kid that I was excited to see again during my adult watch through. Mac Daddy was one of them. Cheese is iconic for better or for worse, and his first episode was hilarious. The Imaginary Dogs episode reminds me of how my own imaginary friend was just a cool-ass wolf. Also, the concept of food imaginary friends is rough, buddy. Like that one pizza friend that got eaten alive by Terrence. Bro, that was dark. The 3-part pilot is just a classic. It does what every good pilot does and establishes literally everything in the series so well. Star Wars was the first proper episode and was a really good way to let you know of the chaos that could be in store every episode. There was an episode where Harriman's song and dance for Madame Foster was exposed and he was made fun of for it, but honestly, it's one of the sweetest Harriman moments ever. That's his best girl. That's her lifelong best friend. Like, come on, guys. That was, like, genuinely wholesome. I honestly think the camping episode is one of my favorites. It's so chaotic and literally everything goes wrong and Harriman goes wild and the punchline is that they were just in the backyard the whole time. Like, that's too great. Challenge of the Super Friends was given Powerpuff Girls, which I guess makes sense since both shows have the same creator. One False Move was pretty funny. Blue's Film would have been an iconic B-movie. The episode where everyone tries to have a sleepover at Mac's house also made me laugh way too much. It was the show's chaos at its finest, and angry whispering Mac lives in my mind rent-free. The Blue Super Dudes were great. Really shows why Blue is a kick-ass imaginary friend. I think the last one was the better one. It's like a full episode of This Epic Daydream. It's just so much fun. The Little P episode was wild. Like, why aren't there more episodes of television like this? Seeing an episode through the eyes of a random NPC is so funny to me. Like those Hogwarts students memes on the internet watching the main plot from the sidelines. Jackie Cones got his own episode, which makes me happy. He's the best. There were a couple of holiday specials, solid Christmas one and a couple of Halloween ones. I remember the Good Will Hunting special made me sad as a kid, but it's definitely well written and one of the most memorable episodes of the show.
It's hot in Topeka.
Squeeze the Day is probably another one of the greatest episodes. This is what Foster's was all about. This is why Mac and Blue are best friends. This is a kid being kid, and that just makes the nostalgia factor go way up. Destination Imagination. This special was the magnum opus of the series. Everything great about the show was here, and the concept of this imaginary friend that could be this universe in a box is OPAF. You know the government would try to tear this guy apart, but man, this is the most memorable Foster's experience, great celebration of Frankie herself, and just a heartfelt Foster story and fun adventure. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends is just a dysfunctional family, and I love it. They're all crazy, even Wilt and Eduardo, especially Coco. They all have moments when they lose control. They've all been mean or sassy or angry. It's pretty accurate. That's how all people are. All families are dysfunctional somehow. We all fight. Humans are all a-holes. And the imaginary friends are created by humans, so... Past all conflicts, they are there for each other. At the end of the day, they are together. And that's what makes Foster's a home. That's what makes these imaginary friends a family. Blue and Madame Foster are such anarchists, yet Mac is a rule follower and Mr. Harriman is a rule Nazi. Not only is this an interesting reflection of the two pairs, but both pairs balance each other out so well, and they're bonded by friendship. Grey Delisle appreciation. This bitch literally raised me. Do you have an hour for me to list all the shows I watched growing up that she was in? Frankie is also an anchor being of the series in her own right. She is legit the main caretaker for all these imaginary friends. I never thought of this before, but her character must have been so important to foster kids in real life. The way Frankie is able to attend to each individual's needs and emotions and approach them with such empathy and compassion is so admirable and inspiring and comforting. Foster kids need that, but they may not always receive it. So even if they didn't have a Frankie in their real life, seeing Frankie for 10 minutes on TV could have been such a small comfort. Jackie Cones is GOAT. In later seasons, he would just show up and drop some random one-liner that always made me laugh too hard. Honestly, my favorite imaginary friend in the house, not gonna lie. I can name multiple favorite characters from the show Succession. All of my fictional spouses were, at some point, considered a villain, and I ship Hannibal Lecter with Will Graham. My toxicity filter is just not there anymore. Blue is an asshole. So for me to say that he's literally one of my favorite anime characters literally of all time, and I have felt this way ever since I was a kid, in retrospect, I guess that says a lot about me. But yeah, Beauregard Q Kazoo. I love this blue little rascal. The narcissistic jerk face still has a heart and values his friendship with Mac, and even the others, even if he never shows it. His very simple design is such a contrast to his complex and colorful personality. He's voiced by Keith Ferguson. Do your homework. That should be a voice actor name in your dictionary. And also, he gets punished for being an asshole, so we're not groomed to like the bad guy, though I totally was anyways. I think the main reason I love Blue so much also ties into why I love the show so much. There's just a childhood wonderment about the show, and going back to the Squeeze the Day episode, a protection of childhood innocence is embodied by both Madame Foster's home, as well as Mac and Blue and their story. Nostalgia always wins the day with this show, as Blue himself is an important symbol of such an innocent time in my childhood, and that feeling takes over every time I watch the show's opening. I know I brought up Final Fantasy VII Rebirth last time, but let me talk about Spider-Man 2 for a sec. I feel like if you liked the first one, you might like the second, though I feel like the first game, and even the Miles Morales game, was a bit more immersive in the New York setting. Not, like, because of the size, because this map was actually way bigger than the other ones, but this sequel just felt more linear, maybe story-driven, in the sense that side missions and exploration wasn't really worth being distracted by for some reason. I do absolutely love the suits. Personal fan of the Fantastic Four paper bag from the last game, but this sequel outdid itself. Like, Peter and Miles both got the drip. They each get their own selection of cool designs, and they just look cool all the time. The gameplay brings in the solid gameplay from the other two titles and adds a bunch of other flares, specifically the Venom gameplay, which I very much loved. However, I'm so used to the Eddie Brock Venom dynamic from Tom Hardy's Venom, so anytime I see another Venom anything that's not the same, I'm like, okay. I felt that there was such great pacing with the game, specifically when it came to switching between our two Spider-Men. While it was very much their story, they also had their own moments. Like, we got the 2-in-1 Spider-Man experience that was advertised and it worked seamlessly. I feel like the first game overall was better, but I didn't hate this second one. If they go on to a third, I don't know, is it too much to ask for a Spider-Verse thing? We already have 2 Spider-Men, let's get more. Where my girl Gwen at? This is also probably me just being spoiled by the Spider-Verse movies, but I mean, it did well for a movie. I bet it could do well for a video game too. Just saying. Star of the week, Eva Green. One of my more profound lesbian crushes. Reading the background information is so weird. Like, her mom is a Jewish descent, Algerian-born French actress, and her dad is a Swedish dentist. um, okay. She also apparently has other famous relatives that are in the arts, like photography, music, or also acting. Oh, and she has a fraternal twin sister. Eva grew up in France and went to school in the heart of Paris. She was inspired to act as a teenager and pursued a career after drama school. Apparently, she was taking on evil roles during school productions, so she was typecasting herself before the rest of us did. Eva Green made her film debut in the film The Dreamers, starting off her career with full nudity. Just putting it out there. Eva gets nude in a lot of films. I mean, it's a French thing, I guess. Her role in The Dreamers helped her land a part in the film Kingdom of Heaven, which put her amongst names like Orlando Bloom and Liam Neeson. Her big break, however, was none other than her role as a Bond girl, Casino Royale. Daniel Gregg's first time as James Bond, Mads Mikkelsen as the Bond villain, Eva as the Bond girl. OMG. Yeah, that happened. Eva won a BAFTA award as a rising star, and this was definitely a great way to start a career. Some of her other early roles included Franklin, Golden Compass, Cracks, and The Piano Teacher. In 2011, Eva Green was Morgana in the miniseries Camelot. I don't know, maybe watching this not too soon after Merlin, I was just sort of bored with this rendition of the tale. But it was well made, and it was a great cast. Jamie Campbell Bower as Arthur, Joseph Fiennes as Merlin. I mean, it was okay. Eva Green had the opportunity to work with her favorite director Tim Burton when she portrayed Johnny Depp's on-screen psychotic love interest in the film Dark Shadows. Underrated. Seriously underrated. That movie is a vibe, and that love scene between Eva and Johnny? Like, what was that? I think about it often. She would then work with Burton a couple more times. She portrayed Miss Peregrine, and I know it wasn't the best adaptation of the books, but watching Eva Green in that movie was such a gay awakening at the time. Like, as if I didn't have enough of those before. But being obsessed with her as Peregrine, watching this movie, but skipping scenes that she was not in, I mean, yeah, that was like low-key lesbian. She was also in Dumbo, which was not a bad reimagining of that film. Burton is the only one I trust to do these Disney live actions because they're not really remakes. Like, even Dumbo was different enough, you know? Now, we all love the 300 movie with Gerard Butler, and its sequel, Rise of an Empire, was mid, but Eva Green as a villain in that movie, I still enjoyed it. Like, that was really hot. Some other films from this decade included Proxima, Womb, White Bird in a Blizzard, Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, The Salvation, and Perfect Sense. Penny Dreadful. Y'all, go watch this right now. I don't know what the F they did to season 3. Like, that ending felt rushed AF, and the whole season was just not great. But season 1? And then season 2, woo! Eva Green, Josh Hartnett, Timothy Dalton, Reeve Carney as Dorian Gray. Get the F out of here. And of course, Helen McQuarrie, Blessed Be, also just absolutely phenomenal. Like, this was such a great show. I need to rewatch it again. I think about it all the time, and it's been like 10 years since I watched it. This is by far the greatest project Eva Green has ever been a part of. She was nominated for a Golden Globe. I hope the person she lost to was really good. The episode, she was possessed, and the episode's taking place in the asylum. Like, rent was due, and she went to work those days, ready to get that bread. Vanessa was a role very much meant for her. It's still her greatest role to date, and you should watch it now. So far this decade, she's been in the shows The Luminaries and Liaison. She also appeared as Lady de Winter in the recent two-parter French film adaptations of The Three Musketeers. Bro, I love Eva Green. Her and Mads Mikkelsen are just in that category of actors that fit a very specific role, which is fine because they're so good at it and are beautiful people to look at. I've seen a lot of Eva Green movies, and whether or not they're objectively good, I've still enjoyed them because that's how lesbian I am. That's it for this week. Be sure to follow this podcast and please follow my Twitter and blog at Hollis Films to follow my journey experiencing the entertainment industry's greatest stories. And let me know what you've been fangirling over this week. Thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you again next week.